Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from TobaccoAdvent.com.
Together, along with you, the three of us, we're Mark Ben's Breakfast Club, and welcome back once again to day 4 of Tobacco Advent 2020. And I'm excited because we're actually fulfilling a destiny from 2019. And that is, last year, Morton from Over a Pipe sent us a number of tobaccos that we didn't get around to. And in fact, we even said, we'll smoke those as the year progresses. Well, then the year progressed from home with COVID, and we never got around to these. So as we looked at our inventory and realized, okay, we're going to be short for this recording. Is there something else we can smoke? We realized it is time to smoke Morton's tobacco.
So this is from 2019 Tobacco Advent, fulfilled in 2020 Tobacco Advent.
Yeah, so what are we going to smoke today? And this is actually part 1 of a 2-part experience.
Yeah, so I'll let the cat out of the bag here on the 2-parter. From last year, I'm just going to read this because, dear Scott and Seth, thank you very much for doing the Tobacco Advent. This year, I'm sure many others would agree, has become this event has become one of my favorite times of the year.
Awesome.
My apologies for my tardiness. Back at ya. Thought I might not qualify to be on the tree. I wanted to send in a few tobaccos, particularly the Missouri Meerschaum American Patriot, aka Frog Morton Cellar replacement, and some Frog Morton Cellar. I'd love to know your opinions on if it would be an adequate replacement. Knowing your love of aromatics, I feel you both would be great candidates and impartial critics to these blends. Well, except for the Missouri Meerschaum part of the test. Thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and God bless. Sincerely, Martin from Over a Pipe.
So I don't know if you know, McClelland is gone. They're no longer around. And so this tobacco is special.
Yeah.
So hence the reason why it's, maybe been replaced.
So today we're going to be smoking the
Frog Morton
Cellar, and then in an upcoming episode, a couple of days from now, we'll smoke the American Patriot and let you know what we think. Yeah, didn't they go out of business a while ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was on the Virtual Pipe Club YouTube channel. It's a I don't even want to call it a podcast, but you can watch that streaming every weekend on either Facebook Live, on YouTube as a live stream, or you can watch it recorded on YouTube. But I was a guest on that, and this was discussed.
Okay.
That McClelland, actually, no, I take that back. At the same time I was being involved in that, Phil Morgan from Missouri Meerschaum was on the Gentleman's Scofflaw podcast. I was telling you, it's funny because I watched that right after we filmed our conversation, and I realized that Phil Morgan answered almost the exact same questions I did. Because, there's only so many questions, and there's a lot of curiosity about corncob pipes. And it was there that they got into a conversation about McClelland going out of business. And Phil knew the folks that owned McClelland, and mentioned that while they could have sold their recipes to somebody, they decided that they just wanted to let it go away and be a fond memory to people. They knew that if you sell the name, if you sell the blend, somebody might just change it. They might just cheapen it, and they just wanted that tobacco to be a tobacco
ruin the legacy.
Would just remember as it was. So. Yeah, that's where that conversation took place. So, looking forward to this.
Look, it is not an aromatic.
No.
I like it. I'll just say it right there. Before we even get to the question. Yeah, I would smoke it again. I understand why people are a fan. I've had it before, but I think when I have had it in the past, it was before I had developed more of a taste for stronger, less aromatic tobaccos, more English tobaccos.
McClelland had a number of blends that were named or variants of the name Frog Morton. So there's Frog Morton on the Pond, Frog Morton on the Bayou, and Frog Morton Cellar. There may have been more. What's our question, boy?
question is, what new hobbies, if any, have you picked up during quarantine?
Well, no and yes. As I've mentioned,
Yes, I said
correct.
what? Well, okay, got it.
As I've mentioned before,
Not have you.
on Marco Ben's Breakfast Club, I decided to go ahead and get serious about posting videos on the My Growth Range channel. I named it, changed the name of it, and have gotten serious. And so my original plan was to put out one video a week. But as often happens to me when I'm doing any kind of instruction, I always have regret that there's something I left out or maybe something I wasn't clear on. And so what happened as I started getting comments from people was I realized I can take another stab at this, and it doesn't even have to be doing that whole thing over again. And so what I've been doing now for the last several months is putting out a video on the weekend and then doing a follow-up midweek to answer the questions that people have asked and oftentimes to clarify what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has become a bit of a hobby and a habit that's been very enjoyable, and connecting with people. This is primarily Shopsmith Power Tool related. We talked about this a few weeks back.
Yep.
It's fun to connect with people that have a common interest in a common product. So it's sort of like when I had my Volkswagen van. The very first time I drove my very first Volkswagen van down the street was the first time I experienced the fraternity of being a Volkswagen owner. You drive along and you see another Volkswagen van, you make eye contact and you give them a wave. I'd never experienced that before. And it was every single time I passed a Volkswagen van. And Shopsmith Power Tool owners have a similar connection.
Yeah.
And that's been a lot of fun connecting with those folks. So it's something of a variation on an existing hobby. So that's it. I think that's all that I'm doing differently. Lots of webinars for work, but that's not by any means a hobby. How about you?
My brother-in-law Isaac got called out the other day for making the comment that he has really gotten deep into the Shopsmith life and loves that tool. And he said, I will never not have a Shopsmith in my shop. And my friend Chris called him out and he said, never. I'm like, what if you grow into are hugely successful and have the top of the line unitaskers and all these things, and what would be the advantage at that point of having one? He's like, no, it's just I won't not have one. He said, I will have one even if it's not the best at any one task in the shop. It is versatile. It is faster to do certain things than any of the other ones would be to set up. And so they got into an argument about why would you make that stand, and that was a fun.
So my grandfather, your great-grandfather, had a cabinet shop in Denver, Colorado, at times with dozens of people working for him. Big industrial equipment. They had a lathe that could turn porch columns that were like 20 feet long.
Wow.
Okay, crazy industrial equipment. The very first CNC machine I had ever seen, which was in the early 1980s, you programmed it with cassette tapes that had your program on it. In the corner, there was a 1940s Shopsmith Model 10 ER, so predates even the 1950s Mark V. So even there, a shop that had every piece of equipment had Shopsmith. The Shopsmith equipment is just versatile, and it sits in the corner, and when you need it, it's a disc sander, a boring machine, a drill press, a lathe, a table saw, whatever you need, it's all those things.
Yeah. So that was fun. For me, I mentioned in last week's Marco Ben's Breakfast Club video a number of things that I've picked up very recently as things that I've wanted to develop into hobbies that right now are kind of coalescing around a Christmas gift. I didn't give it away then. I don't think anyone is watching this, so I'll go ahead and give it away here. And if you would like to get more context, go back and watch last week's Marco Ben's Breakfast Club video. I am every year for Christmas, we play a little bit of game of one-upsmanship with my wife's family as to who can make the most complicated to open gift. There have been a number of very complicated gifts in the past that involve puzzles and trivia and lock picking and other things. And so this year I've gone far off the deep end and am making essentially an escape room style puzzle that I expect to take maybe 30 minutes to solve, to open, to receive a probably subpar gift on the inside. And so I'm dedicating much more time, effort, and money into the making of the wrapping for this present than the present itself. But it's going to, it has involved, and so some of the habits and things that hobbies that I've picked up. I'm learning how to program Arduinos. I'm learning how to do small electronic soldering. I soldered some small motors and things. Basically, the most successful soldering I have ever had in my life was a week or two ago. I'm doing 3D modeling in CAD that will convert into 3D printing files. There may even be some woodworking that takes place in there. And so all of those have happened very recently. And so that's a lot of fun because having a project focuses what you need to focus on, focus on what you need to learn. But then beyond that, I hope that it will continue into other future projects.
Do you think you would have committed to that if it weren't for COVID?
I probably would have. It probably was unrelated. Yeah, I would say. I would say, due to COVID, we've spent more time playing games online with friends. I probably am playing more video games than I was pre-COVID. For me, that's a de-stressor. But yeah, a lot of the other the other things are probably totally unrelated. I have had the opportunity, as my brother-in-law has started a business, I've had the opportunity to apply many of the business principles I have learned to him and help him with his business, and that's something that I really enjoy and would love to do. I don't have any good business ideas or products in mind, and so but I love that I get to take skills that I've learned over the last 5+ years and apply them in a new way. And so that has been a hobby for me. I have spent a lot of time helping him be successful, and that's great too. Which again, not really COVID related, but it is something that I've picked up during this time.
Very good. All right, so question is, would you smoke it again?
What about you?
Believe it or not, I would.
Well, the real question will be in a few days when we come back and see how the American Patriot compares, and if there is any comparison. Looking at it, I'm a little bit suspicious that it will be. You can see there is a visual difference in the tobacco, and so I'm curious to see what that. If I will enjoy this as much as I've enjoyed the.
So be sure to check that out. In the meantime, make it a great day, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Thank you guys. See ya.